My love, Shirley Later Girl from Runaway, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm here to tap on that shoulder real quick, sister. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because I'm asking you so very nicely. And also too, girl, this is what we do. If you're into anything with black people, black culture, black skin, black hands, black thing, it's a black girl thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button, period. So let me just start off by saying that this video is long overdue. I wanted to kind of do it episode by episode, but I feel like it's so long, we're so late here. I just want to kind of talk about a couple of things. In my last video, I said, who wants to talk about Quiet on Set? There was like 1 or 2 people that said they wanted to talk about it. So here we are, sister. It's for you, okay? This is all to you. Number one, I won't stop until I see you, sugar. You know who it is. This is for my number one, period, girl. One thing I'm gonna do is have me a good old breakdown, okay? Call it the Cabaret interlude. So listen, this documentary was so well put together, and if the Hollywood elites were not the sexual deviants that they are, I would think that this would be winning some sort of award, okay? And I'm not saying that because it was so nostalgic. I just think that the rollout and the way that it was shot and the surprise of it being Drake and all of these things that kind of came along with this, it was just really well done. You know what I mean? Speaking from a cinema standpoint, I think the documentary was really well done. Now, there were so many pockets of nostalgia in this documentary that I can't help but to say, like, I watched it a little bit just to reminisce some. I reminisced on the love we had. Like, girl, Nickelodeon, let's just take a moment to talk about what Nick represented for us in the 90s. If you're here, you're more than likely a millennial. You're anywhere between the ages of 25 and 34. And so, and shout out to if you fall, you know, on the outskirts, because bitch, we out here. But if you're here, we're about the same age. And what Nickelodeon represented for us as a kid was, it was a space for us to just see things, not whimsical and stupid like Disney. It wasn't like magical in the sense of, oh, but it was gritty and it was funny and it felt like, yeah, this is a little something for me, little badass kid. I want to see some show, I want to see some people get slimed. You know what I'm saying? It gave like rugged realness, but in kid, right? It was like if Disney Channel was your cousin who went to charm school, Nickelodeon was the cousin who ain't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important to say that because this was the dynamic and the cultural scene at the time that, you know, all of these things took place. So the first thing I want to get into is Raven-Symoné. One of the things that stood out to me about Raven-Symoné a long time ago was she did an interview and she mentioned how the laws around child labor are just pretty much null and void. You said that you can work 8 hours and it is what it is. But what happens is a lot of times these parents become managers initially first. And it's like my kid is gonna have to work for me essentially, so that way I can pay my bills for her to have this good life. And so there is an issue of integrity and a conflict of interest on part of the child and between the parent. And another prime example of this is in the Hollywood industry, or the, you know, movies or TV media, in the media industry. A lot of people like hiring twins, and not necessarily for a role that requires twins, but you can go around child labor laws if you can just switch out an identical twin. Right? So if the scene is, you know, we're at our 8-hour window and the child can't go anymore, we can just usher in the twin. Think Mary-Kate and Ashley. They infamously talks about how, you know, since they were so identical that they would just kind of run it. And that's just to give you an idea about how there are so many loopholes when it comes to child labor laws, media, television, entertainment, and these things. Essentially, it's the Wild Wild West. You get what I'm saying? When they down there here to the taxes, down at the IRS, down to the cent, to the penny, to the this, that, and the third, but y'all got kids on set. You feel what I'm saying? It seems like, don't y'all need to be regulating some shit over there? On my soul, period. Anyway, I want to get off track here. It's a serious matter, okay? But it's essentially like the Wild Wild West. Any kind of industry you in, there is somebody who you have to adhere to, right? In the school district, you have the Board of Education, and sometimes even the state. If you're a doctor, you have the Board of Nurses, or whatever. If you own a restaurant, then there's the Department of Health. I don't know who it is when it comes down to those things, and I'm pretty sure they're not going, hey, Paramount Production, let me come onto your set to see and check time cards to see when this child has come onto the set and to see if things are up to code and to see if there's no violations. They're just not doing that because there is a certain exclusivity that comes with working in Hollywood, right? If you're working on a set and things of that nature, and then everybody can just pop in and pop out. And so this mysteriousness and mystiqueness is what protects predators in these certain situations, because we're behind the curtain. Ain't nobody coming to save you now. You get what I'm saying? And that is something that we need to really talk about. Again, I'm not really doing a review. I'm just giving an overall opinion on what my thoughts were while I was watching this shit, because the shit's unbelievable. Let's just call it what it is. Kind of sad to think that my childhood and the shows that I love, like I love the Amanda show. You get what I'm saying? Like I remember when she first had that show, What a Girl Wants, the movie when she was, or the boy when she was on a soccer, the British shit. We were real fans of this shit, and they were really being abused in this way. It really changes and alters how you feel about these things. Well, anyway, I say all that to say that hindsight is always 20/20. But what are we going to do moving forward? That whole idea and design is a perfect storm for predators to infiltrate the playground. And what I don't want to see happen is people are shying away from in the senator, because no, we don't need to. It's almost as if to be like, oh, Uncle Johnny's coming over, make sure you change those pants. No, well, Uncle Johnny needs to check himself at the motherfucking door and not be looking at me in a sexualized manner. So it's not that I don't want kids to be able to fulfill their dreams and, you know, have children entertainment, because at one point I'm like, fuck all that shit. I would never. I want the people to employ systems that protect the children. Since this shit aired, what has changed? And this is why we need to kind of really have these conversations to get shit shaken. I mean, there's a small corner over here and you and I can discuss, and I love that for us, but I feel like these things need to happen on a bigger level. The people who are involved in these scandals, the people who are not even scandals, the abuse or was shown. Ariana Grande, speak up. Ariana Grande, speak up. Ariana Grande, speak up. Where you at? Where's you at? Because we seen you. Oh my God, I want to squeeze a potato. Oh my God, I want to squeeze a. We seen that, sister. And even if you come out and you say something like, you know, yeah, well, that was a dark time and this and the third, you need to say something. Girl, you already got all the money in the world. And Ariana Grande is maybe 30 years old. Like you're younger than me. She's only 30 years old. So like, girl, you need to say something. It's not too late. And I'm only saying that to be like, you know, she has such a huge and public platform. A voice like Ariana Grande is going to get people shaking and moving. And I'm talking like, yeah, let's get some reform in here. Let's figure some shit out. That shit that happened to me was not okay. And I'm standing against all of that. People are so scared, oh, hoogity boogity, to say something and to step out there. Step out there. You got all the support of the universe right now, because right now everybody's getting exposed, right? So right now is the time for you to step out. Anyway, you know who did step out though? Jessica McCurdy. Jessica McCurdy stepped out when she wrote her book, Oh My God, I'm Glad My Mom Died, or whatever, which I did read. Oh my God, such a beautiful read. Oh my God, it was such a good book and such a good story. That girl is really, and let me just say this here. If you're not reading books, you need to be on Audible. I listened to that book, which was narrated by her, and I promise you I was in situations, or I could be in situations with her just by her narrating the story. The stuff that she was talking about was so bizarre. Even the things that was, and Dan was mentioned, you know, we know it was Dan now, but the things that she endured by the hands of the adults who were handling her in the industry was just, in short, a gross mishandling, a gross injustice. And when she described some of the things, it was almost palpable. You could kind of feel like, damn. But then coupled with this documentary, Quiet on Set, it brings it all around to full circle, y'all. If you haven't already, make sure you go and listen to the book on Audible. It's such a good, it's like listening to a podcast. I'm trying to tell y'all, get on Audible. It's going to give you the tea. So she was the one who kind of had a little bit of courage to kind of say something. And another thing that came up was the weight thing, the the 90s weight fetish. You know, if a girl wasn't like this, she was considered to be, you know, fat. And you had these young girls in bikinis and, you know, Zoe 101, Britney Spears' little sister, and everything like this. I mean, I want to say this. The girls nowadays, little girls nowadays, they have bikinis. But when I was 12 and 13, I was maybe had like a little sports two-piece that was a little big and some shorts, and we was keeping it cute. I wasn't propped up and boot this and that. Like, the way that these girls were costumed makes me think about how we were informed as children to what we should aspire to be, which is why a lot of millennials struggle with ideas about themselves, body dysmorphia. It's why we struggle with positive self-imagery. It's why we struggle with relationships with food, because we were thought to, maybe we were made to believe that, you know, Kim Parker was fat. And then we're talking about, I'm just bringing this over to the people, because that's what really matters. I never wanted to aspire to be like, maybe at some point when I was a kid, but these people in entertainment need to be held responsible for that. They told us that we need to be like this at 14, have a padded bra on, a fat stomach, and in a jacuzzi tub with a grown ass man. And so what does that do to a developing brain? This is why, if you are a parent out here, if you're thinking about having children, girl, make sure you're watching the TV shows and monitoring that shit, because it was no way. Now, thinking back now, no wonder we was outside like, yeah, girl, because we about to be, because the things that we were being fed, it ain't no telling we was being seen from mommy and daddy. Mommy, no daddy, okay? All of the hidden humor was based in fetishism, the foot fetish, the innuendos. And I'm just like, how come the parents didn't see that? That was one of the questions I was thinking to myself. How come the parents didn't see that shit? Obviously, like the girl said, that was a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, how come none of the parents said anything like this? And it dawned on me that the parents that were watching this and was going through this with us, it was new to everybody. Nickelodeon kind of came in and changed the game with kid entertainment. It was fun, it was new, it was edgy, it was all these different things. So it wasn't like they just sat back and watched. I'm getting an idea that maybe they just didn't know that it could be harmful, right? You know, all of these things were happening new for us. The internet, the new shows and everything all came out at one time. So the parents really couldn't keep up. We could see something and laugh, ah ha ha, that's so funny, and not realize that it's an innuendo. The mom is like, yeah, it's just a kid show, I'm not really sure. It's no different than, you know, mom and dad not knowing that a chat room could be dangerous until a motherfucking predator showed up. He was on that motherfucking type of shit, you ain't had no business, and it was, get your ass off this fucking, could be out this chat. But up until that point, it was, oh, my daughter's on the internet, she's, you know, she's doing well. That Rebecca, she's doing great on the internet. Meanwhile, Rebecca over there setting some shit up to be snatched and never be seen again. They didn't know, right? And I think there's something to kind of say about the newness of technology, the newness in the direction of which media and how we consumed it as children, and even them as adults, how they consumed it, right? Now, I wanted to speak a little bit more since we're on the topic of the parents, because I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of the things that was discussed, because obviously this is a little bit late and everybody has already discussed it. This is my different take on this. What happened to Drake was unbelievable, and when he came on, I think we were all kind of gagged like, oh my god, it was him. I want to hear Amanda's story. Where's she at? Where Amanda was so revered and so loved. I don't think we can remember how beloved Amanda Bynes was, y'all, but she was one of the first, I want to say she was like, I want to put her in the same category as like a kid version of Lucille Ball. And that might be a stretch, but I know somebody's going to understand what I'm trying to say. I think that we need to take a look at the parents, right? Okay, so we have the parents. The Drake's dad, he said he knew something was off with Dan, and he manipulated it and somehow ended up getting, you know, the son to sign away the rights, and the mom became the own, you know, whatever. These people, I think the question that came up in my mind was, how bad do you want it? At what expense? There's a certain level of mind control that happens when a person is being groomed. And I want you all to know that sexual predators don't only just groom the children, they also groom the parents, right? That's something that we don't really discuss often enough. So while they're working on your child, they're also working on you to kind of lower your gaze, to kind of, you know, relax you a little bit. Oh no, it's fine. You want to go smoke cigars? Oh no, it's good. I'm gonna give her another show on this, you know, another spot on the show, which means to the parent some more money in your ear, right? And so those things work together. Your need for money, your willingness to look away, and our ability to make shit up in our mind. Our mind will tell us something, or our stomach will tell us something, our gut will tell us something that our mind will dispute. That don't really feel right. Why the fuck would he do that, girl? No, he wouldn't do that shit. I know that nigga. Oh my gosh, why didn't he tell me that he was going to go take him there? Girl, he don't have to tell you every little thing. You're tripping right now. You know you got anxiety. We are so disconnected from our bodies and our intuition that we downplay and we excuse away triggering, alarming red flag behaviors. And this is how people get hurt in the process, whether it's you or your children. Okay? The dad knew. I would have said some shit then. Bitch, we're out of here. If you already know. But you know why the dad didn't? Because we have financial restraints. We're in this capitalistic society. It's my kid's dream. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, on top of the mind control, you have financial control. How much can I say? I take away this opportunity. Take away this opportunity. My kid now hates me. I take away this opportunity to protect my child. We're now homeless. And I think that a lot of parents, oh, how could the parents not know? I think that some of the parents got caught up in greed and capitalism because it was comfortable. And it's unfortunate because how often and think back into your own childhood, how often did your parents, you know, misjudgment end up falling into your lap and you're seriously hurt? And that may be, you know, the parents do something fucked up, your mom do something fucked up, your dad do something fucked up, say something to you, and now you're stuck with a core memory of, you ain't shit, bitch. And you got to rework that shit in therapy 30 years later. You get what I'm saying? And there were so many different themes throughout this docu-series, and I'm glad that it came out. It started a conversation about people who, you know, are in the spotlight but have little to no protection, and nothing's really being done about it. So if you are in the industry, if you're thinking about putting your children in the industry, if you have little cousins, little brothers, and little sisters, and little people, and even yourself, girl, stay protected out here. Trust your intuition and know when to say fuck no. Hell no. The people, the Nickelodeon stars, have come out and have shared their stories. I think that we should offer support and grace to them. And I really do think I want to see Dan Schneider, that little bullshit ass interview he did with that black man. Who was he? Oh, he was allegedly a child star too. The way he skated through them, we want some real serious questions asked Dan from a prosecutor, not an interviewer. That's all I got. Let me know what you think down in the comments, girl. I hope you all are enjoying this content. If you are, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate you, okay? As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.